What's up guys, John Paul here and welcome back to another Minecraft video. In my previous video, I added elemental illagers, and in this video, I'll be adding elemental swords, which has a lot of custom powers. It was inspired from popular MMOS mod reviews back in 2013 when I was a kid, and I realized that no one actually made a data pack about these elemental swords that has all of the 8 elements of the earth. So make sure to watch the whole video because later in this video I'll be adding a super secret sword that is very OP, and if this video hits 500 likes, you're gonna get a download for this. And only few of my subscribers watch my videos, so if you aren't, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and click the notification bell to all. And check out my channel for more data packs and videos. So let's start off with the water sword. So water, you're gonna need a stick and 2 water buckets. So when you get this, you're gonna get the water sword. So as you can see, it removed the water from the buckets. So this sword actually takes a lot of damage and can easily kill mobs, like 2 hits, like that. And also has some water particles, you can see, and it also gives you conduit power. So when we go to water, you can see we lose air. So once we use the water sword, you can see that we don't even need air anymore. Moving on to the fire sword. To get the fire sword, you're gonna need a stick and 2 fire charges. Craft them like a sword, and then you're gonna get it. So you're gonna get the fire sword. So basically, from its name, it's about fire. So yeah, it has some fire particles. And whenever a zombie or a nearby mob comes near you, you will burn them because of course this is a fire sword. And yeah, it could burn them. Like this villager over here. So if I go near him, he might burn. And I can also kill him too, using the sword's own fire aspect. Just like left clicking him and he will burn. And also you will get fire resistance and resistance. So you won't burn in lava or any fire. So let's clean ourselves here in the water. So when you're attacked by a lot of zombies, just go near them. You don't even need to move, or like, you don't even need to use the sword. Just like that. Just hold it and they will burn. Moving on to the lightning sword. So you're gonna need a stick and 2 glowstone dust. So you're gonna craft it like this, and you're gonna get a lightning sword. So when you hold the lightning sword, you can see that there are cloud particles or white particles that is following you. And you can also see you have speed and resistance 4. It makes you a bit faster too. So I think that the lightning sword is probably everyone's favorite sword. You can see that it's summoning lightning on them. But I just can't see it clearly because I still have shaders on. So let me turn off shaders. Now I turned off shaders. So you can see that it's gonna electrify mobs. And it takes a lot of damage. It could also damage you, that's why you shouldn't abuse this sword. Still though, it's pretty cool and strong. You can even kill mobs underwater with this lightning sword. Just be careful you won't get lightning. Moving on to the earth sword. So you're gonna need a stick and 2 grass blocks. And then by this, you're gonna get an earth sword. So the texture of it was actually inspired from grass blocks. I just made it like this. And it also has some green particles. And it also gives you strength and resistance 8. So let's review our previous swords. So we currently had water, the fire sword, the lightning sword, and of course our new earth sword. So the earth sword actually is pretty cool. You can see when I hit mobs or players with it, it's gonna stun them for like 2 seconds. Since that it has this earth spike thingy that would stun them. You can see the dirt particles there. This one. So it can stun them and they can't move for a bit. And you'll get a chance to attack them. You can see there. And the cool thing about this sword, it's gonna make you tanky. If you don't know what tanky means, it means like you're very hard to kill and you're pretty strong. You can see the earth spike here. So I think that this is actually one of my favorite ones because I took a lot of time making this. It just makes you strong and can pull off enemies. And let's move on. Next we have the air sword. So you're gonna get a stick and 2 feathers. You're gonna get this and you're gonna get an air sword. So basically the air sword, from its name, yeah, it's air. So it's like the wind. So it will make you very fast because it will give you speed. It gives you jump boost too, speed 5, and slow falling. From this, you're like a feather that is slow falling. And I kinda like the design and how the air sword works. And you can see, you can run very fast, and mobs can even catch you when you have this sword. And also, if you hit mobs, you can see the white particles on them and they will fly. You can see there. So once they levitate, they're gonna take fall damage and can actually kill them. You can see, right there, they're gonna get fall damage. If you keep hitting the mobs, as usual, they're gonna die from fall damage and the sword. It could actually help you escape from mobs. For example, if you're being chased, you're just gonna need this sword. That's simple. So we currently have 5 swords, so let's add another one. So we're gonna get a stick and 2 ice blocks, and we're gonna get this, and then we're gonna get the ice sword. So from its name, it's gonna freeze mobs. We have the water, fire, lightning. This one looks pretty cool. And the earth, the air sword, and of course, our ice sword. So it's a blue sword, and yeah, when you click players or mobs with it, they will freeze and suffocate. It's similar to the earth sword, but this one actually freezes them and suffocates them because they have continuous damage. You can see when we freeze them, they will get damage, and then eventually the ice will break on its own. This is another cool feature I added too. And it also has some particles, blue particles. And it will obviously gives you jump boost and regeneration 4. So you can see I'm jumping a bit higher here. So it's pretty useful when you are being chased, like this one. So if you're gonna use the earth sword, it doesn't take damage to them, it only stuns them. But if you're gonna use the ice sword, of course it's gonna give them continuous damage because they will suffocate on ice. And the ice will break. Moving on to the new elements that I kinda added. So we're gonna need a stick and a white dye. 2 of them. So if you're gonna get this, you can see I added a brand new light sword. So I think that light is an element. So let's go to time set midnight. You can see that it obviously is glowing. I think that this is actually pretty cool. It's like similar to lightsabers. Also the fire sword and the lightning sword actually glows like this. But I kind of like the light sword because it's pure white and glows at night. And it's also gonna give you speed, strength, and resistance. So since we have resistance with this sword, you can just swim in lava. Or just kidding. What this sword does is, it's gonna blind mobs. Like literally blind them. He's now blind. Just like that, I just blinded these mobs. It's also supposed to glow when I turn off shaders. So let me turn off shaders. So as you can see, they're now glowing. So what the glowing effect does is, if you hit mobs with the sword, you're gonna see them beyond walls. You can see them right there. There are a lot of zombies here, so if I hit them with the sword, you can see that I could see them through walls. And for the next sword, we have the dark sword. Or, I don't know why I call it dark sword. So since that we have light, we also have dark. What the dark sword does is, it's gonna give you invisibility because it's not gonna pass light through. It could also give you speed and night vision. It doesn't work on shaders though. And once you're not holding the sword, it's still gonna give you 5 seconds to become invisible, because I made it like this, so I'm not invisible. Once you hit mobs with it, they're gonna get blind, and they also have this black particle effect. An example is here. So if I hit them, they're supposed to be blind, but I don't know how they can see me. I think that's how mobs does. But it does work on players. So we finally have all of the 8 swords, or the 8 elements that I mentioned earlier. So these are the swords and they are pretty OP. Tell me your favorite sword in the comments below. So we're not done yet. So imagine if you're fighting these guys, and using all of these 8 swords isn't enough. You can see I died. So they keep on attacking me, and I just keep on running. So what I'm gonna do, if I throw the water, fire, lightning, earth, air, ice, light, and finally, if I'm gonna throw the dark sword at them, you can see that we have now an elemental sword. So this is pretty OP and can actually pretty much kill anything. So you can see that it has a custom animation. So it's a mix of all of the elements. You can see ice particles and dirt particles, and it also gives you a lot of effects. And I guess that this is a pretty strong sword. You can see there, it one hits probably anything because it combines all of the powers of the elements. You can see there, it even one hits Wither. And let's try the dragon. And it didn't one hit the dragon. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and I'll see you in the next video.